Fusebox.
Insert title here, and you are searching for answers.
And I thank you, and a gracious good day to all of you, dear friends. Welcome once again to Fusebox. This is show number 15. Insert title here. And how's it how's it working for you, folks? Still kind of stinky out there, huh? Good God. We have a nice long Mercury retrograde to enjoy. Looks like the final shadow of it, as they say, will be concluded by June 27th. It seems awfully long to me. But
yeah, I don't know I'm going to want to hang around for all that.
Oh, yeah? Gonna take a cruise somewhere, are you? Huh?
I don't know, I thought I might look up some wormhole portals. Maybe skate out of town for a spell, you know?
Well, I might be inclined to join you. 'Cause you know what I found last night, right? Right?
Yeah, you told me about that. Your little discovery.
Oh yeah. Wonderful. Yeah, it just never quite stops. Isn't that kind of it, right? It just keeps going. The hits just keep on coming, folks. Yeah, I get home last night from a session, and I'm walking in the...
By sessions, are you referring to the usual deal? Where you have 18 or 19 cocktails at the Indigo Room and then stumble back home to collapse face down in your pillow? That kind of session?
No. No, seriously. You have to admit that this was a wee bit irritating. I mean, I come home, walk into the living room, and then, I noticed that there's like a trail of dirt running across the room, like somebody was tunneling, but it's a floor. It's not a dirt floor. Things are bad, folks. They're not that bad. But on closer inspection, I discover it's dirt, all right, as all of the potted plants in that room, they're all overturned and have been separated from their pots. And they're like rearranged in some kind of fractal superhighway all over the floor. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to deduce who the perpetrator was.
Moriarty?
Only if he was a pair of Japanese pocket squirrels. And I got them red-handed on the security cam, too, yeah? Punch it up. Yeah, went on and on like that. They'd probably be putting the finishing touches on that casino by now if I hadn't walked in and spoiled the fun. Seriously.
Well, if they were doing the casino thing, I might be inclined to cut them some slack. Just saying.
Whoa. So now they're in need of slack? What happened to wanting to jettison them to Jupiter via slingshot?
Well, I'm just saying, if they're clearly demonstrating true entrepreneurship, well, then maybe...
How much of their action did you cut yourself in for?
Oh, I wasn't suggesting
How
that.
much?
20%.
Oi.
File 13.
Sadly, Tim, the postman, was mistaken for a chew toy by a local rabid dog.
Oh, nice doggy. Hey, little doggy. How are you?
So yeah, it continues to be a very interesting time. I know a couple of colleagues here on the Overnightscape Underground channel are between positions. It's like jobs evaporating, and maybe even the work that you have is sort of diminishing. It's a very interesting period of time. Hasn't really sorted itself out yet, and we're all sort of hanging on here. I'm thinking it's going to have to swing the other way eventually. I mean, you can't just, this would be a horrible act of physics. The scales are like permanently weighted with a piano on one end. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm sure this will find its way, and we'll see better times. And but again, from the soil of despair sometimes grows something rather marvelous. And Frank Edward Nora, our intrepid leader on the Overnightscape Underground Network, has put out a book, the ONSUG Guide. This isn't an ebook, folks. This is an actual book. It's like 10 million pages long. It chronicles basically the 12-year-plus history of all of the broadcasts that are included in the Overnightscape Underground archive. And that includes his show and several variations of his show that he's done over the years, and everybody else's. Detailed, pretty outstanding work. And there's something like, 700 years of audio on this thing. I'm not sure what it is, but there's a lot of stuff, and it's going to be very hard to, sit down and just hear it all. It's a commitment. But this guide is a great reference if you're trying to find something that happened back there and you're not sure what it was. Well, it's in there, and you can look it up. And it's available at Amazon.com for a most reasonable sum. I think he said $8 or something, and yeah, well worth it. I mean, I don't know of anything in this sort of internet broadcasting that's ever happened like that. That's a first, and definitely a bloom in this otherwise weird desert we seem to be experiencing right now. So check it out.
Spotlight on film.
Always makes me think of the Encyclopedia Britannica films from 1950. Well, folks, I stumbled across a documentary made by filmmaker Denny Tedesco, which I learned actually was shown at South by Southwest in 2008, but has taken it a little while to find its way to our screens here, even in limited release, but it is out, and the film is called The Wrecking Crew, and it focuses on a period from like the 1950s, I'd say late 50s, into the 60s and 70s, where a very tried and trusted group of studio musicians shaped the sound, pretty much, of popular music and were virtually unknown in that process. And it's explored really, really well and very enjoyable. Just to give you an example, I think if you were growing up the same time I was, we were all aware that the band The Monkees was a bunch of folks who were pretty fun people, but didn't play a note, except maybe Michael Nesmith and Peter Tork may have dabbled a bit. But all of the musical performances were created by a band that they brought in to do that until later in their careers. Prior to that, the music was provided by the Wrecking Crew. But not only them. Did you also know that these cats replaced the musicians for Brian Wilson's Beach Boys? Yeah. Track in particular, Good Vibrations. Album in particular, Pet Sounds. That's right. This kind of thing was going on a lot, and we hear about things like that now and are incensed and so forth. But back in the day, these little casual musical decisions were made all the time, and the general public was never really made aware of that. But what's interesting is the folks who were in the Wrecking Crew, people like Glenn Campbell, Leon Russell, Hal Blaine, Plaz Johnson, and an amazing bass player by the name of Connie Kay, who was pretty much single-handedly responsible for one of the most iconic bass lines ever, and that is the opening several notes to Sonny and Cher's huge hit, The Beat Goes On. Now, what happened there, evidently, was that the chart just called for an eighth note thing, so some very plodding one-note kind of thing, and Connie took a look at that and said, yeah, I don't think so, and kind of rearranged that on the spot and gave us that very iconic melodic lick there, and that, of course, is famous. But also, the same collection of folks were responsible for all the backing tracks for the Mamas and the Papas. Nancy Sinatra's These Boots Were Made for Walking. It also takes time to feature in particular, one player, a guitarist, by the name of Tommy Tedesco. No, it's not an accident that the filmmaker is also named Tedesco. Denny produced this movie to give the rest of us a clue as to what it was like to live with his dad and what went on during those times. Tommy Tedesco was an amazing guitarist, multi-instrumentalist, and personally, I remember him fondly from the pages of Guitar Player magazine back in the 70s, I think. He had a column in there about the gigging musician, and he'd describe a gig and the time spent, the money he made from it, and how the process went. And you know, as someone who would probably never enter that particular strata of studio experience, it was fascinating to me to learn about all of that and the sort of work that he was doing and actually have the guts to tell you what he actually made on it. These were, union gigs. And so, jobs like doing a riff for the Hawaii Five-0 theme, Mission Impossible, and a host of other things. The guy went on to do a million things, in addition to working even on some occasions with one of my favorite humans of all time, Frank Zappa, who also has a little piece in here commenting on Tommy and his abilities. And so it's a very loving tribute to all of this process, and it's not unlike a couple of films that have come out regarding, either background singers or session musicians from Motown, that kind of thing. It's not unlike that, but this is kind of a surprise in a lot of ways. When you learn about how these folks are brought in to do hits that we always assumed had big bands behind them, because we saw the band, we knew they were playing. Well, they were playing, but they weren't playing on the track. So it's really interesting process. So as I say, it came out in 2008, but it is now available to download on Amazon Prime, Google Play, and I think Vudu as well. So if you have a chance to see it, and it's in limited release around the country, so if you have a chance to see it, I thoroughly recommend it. It's remarkable, fascinating, and thought-provoking.
Fusebox.
Yeah. So, friends.
Uh-oh.
No. You know where I'm going here. Have you ever had that experience where you're either in line or, heaven forfend, you're actually with this person in question whose mission in life, it seems, evidently, is to cause great stress for all those around him or her through their stentorian proclamations of their personal preferences regarding anything and everything from booze to ordering salad? Well, gentle listeners, we have a solution for this modern-day annoyance. Don't be that guy.
Thank you again for coming. It really means so much to us. How's the scotch?
Oh, it's fine, I suppose. Perhaps a tad presumptuous on the front end and rather pedestrian on the whole, I would say. Certainly no Ladeg Duskada, which imparts rather unique and distinct smoky notes, due to its long dormant period, during the maturation process, of course. I must say, the Tobermory Distillery really has a handle on single malts. Oh, by the way, Duskada is Gaelic for awakening, which I must say is rather apropos, inasmuch as the Scots were... Those of you who have been following the show for a while, and by the way, you are of impeccable taste and distinction, if you have been tagging along on this audio slipstream, then you are familiar with Twisted Epiphanies, these little entries that I often play here. These are short spoken word pieces that are given a little audio enhancement and sent on their merry way, and we have another one today. This one, written by Laurence Overmire, a chap whose work we often adapt mercilessly in these segments. He also has been a guest on the program with his wife and collaborator, Nancy McDonald. This one, called Newsworthy, is highly appropriate for these times we live in, and is read here by the lovely and talented Nancy Monson. Newsworthy by Laurence Overmire.
Newsworthy. The pundits drivel and drool across the pages of what used to be a newspaper, as if their heady games of political backstabbing and intrigue will actually matter in a year or two. I like to spill cold coffee on their little printed faces and watch their eyes and ears obfuscate into a meaningless stain of ink and goo. Then I take their silly ruminations, folded neatly, to the cat box, where Fluffy has her way with them.
What if I don't have a cat?
Well, I'm sure you're clever enough to determine a fitting receptacle for the aforementioned pundit drool. Don't you have a monitor lizard?
No, I think you're thinking of the other guy.
Oh, yeah, right. You're right. He didn't last very long here, did he? Whatever happened to him?
I think he got a job at NASA.
NASA? Or the NSA? Yeah, that guy could have gone either way. You know what I mean? Kind of creepy. So, friends, it has come to that part of the program where we once again get to ring some bells and drop in on our friend Timo as he gets to check in with his dentist for a little rinse and spit activity. Here's another edition of Timo's World.
It's Timo's World. Timo goes dental.
Okay, they're ready for you, Mr. Timo.
Hello, Timo. I see we're here for our bi-yearly cleaning. Let's get you bibbed and take a look here. Open. Mm-hmm. Very good. Mm-hmm. Some wear on both the maxillary and mandibular molars. I see you're still eating bones, Timo. We'll need to keep an eye on that, so let's ease up on the bone chewing to save wear and tear on those magnificent molars of yours. Okay, then? All righty. Number 6, periodontal nurse.
Number 6, doctor.
My wife and I just returned from our trip to New Zealand. Mirror, please. Beautiful country. We spent most of the time on the South Island. Lake Pukaki is absolutely pristine, and Mount Cook is just spectacular. Torque wrench. Do you travel, Timo? I absolutely recommend New Zealand. The Kiwis are such wonderfully gracious hosts. Excavator, please. And the Maori art is simply exquisite. Truly gifted artisans. Are you an art lover, Timo? Ah, French Expressionism. Yes. I take it then that you're a fan of Bernard Buffet's work, yes? My wife and I... Vice grips, nurse, please. Love his work. Very underrated in his lifetime, I think. Such an unfortunate thing, his suicide. Very tragic. Very tragic. Are you flossing regularly, Timo? Try to floss regularly as part of your daily dental hygiene routine. We only get one set of teeth after all, and they have to last a lifetime. Belt sander, nurse.
Yes, doctor. Here you are, doctor.
Yes, we only get one set of teeth. Okay, I just need to round off those lower canines by an inch or two. There we go. Now, wider, please. We'll just lean in and reshape those canines. There, that's better. Mirror, please. Excellent, excellent. Now, we'll just go ahead and put a nice polish on those teeth and we'll be all done.
Would you like spearmint flavored paste? Cinnamon? Roadkill?
There we are, all done now. Yes, nice and clean. Alrighty then, go ahead and pick out your complimentary toothbrush kit, Timo, and we'll see you again in the fall.
Would you like red, blue, green, or yellow?
Red, pretty. Red.
Oh, shoot. We're all out of red, Timo. I'm sorry. So blue, green, or yellow? Oh, dear.
Nurse, schedule Timo in 6 months for that root canal. Oh, and please order a gross of red toothbrushes, okay?
Heaven help us if we ever get to tag along with Timo for his visit to the proctologist. Just saying. And that, dear friends, will wrap this edition of Fusebox. Once again, thank you so much for pushing play on this installment. My conspirators on this edition have been Erin Lehn Floresca, Nancy Monson, Jeff Pollard, and I have been your host, Marc Rose, and it has been a pleasure bringing this extravaganza to your ears. And please join us next time for more merriment. And until our next cartoon,